Joining me now is Randi Weingarten, the president of the American Federation of Teachers. This was certainly a strong signal about the foreign students, but let's talk about reopening schools. And let's listen to what the vice president had to say about reopening schools and whether people should listen to the CDC guidelines.
We don't want CDC guidance to be a reason why people don't reopen their schools.
I think he just said ignore the CDC, which is his own government and his own part of his own healthcare task force.
So I'm glad that Mike Pence was never one of my students, Andrea, because I would be very embarrassed right now. Because at the end of the day, the CDC guidelines are what you use to reopen schools. They are about how you make sure that schools don't spread a virus, a silent virus, an invisible virus. And frankly, I don't really get these politicians that are now jeopardizing the safety of kids and their teachers. There's really a circumference of knowledge if you listen to the science rather than wishful thinking, which is you look at community spread, and then you make sure that there's spacing, that there's masks, and that there's resources. And that's what we at the AFT have been struggling with since April when we put out our reopen plan as to not whether to reopen schools, but how. And that's what districts around the country are doing very much alone because the federal government is giving them not just mixed messages, but no plan, no resources, and just threats.
And Mitch McConnell, the majority leader, was just asked about the safety of sending students back to school. I want to show you what he had to say.
What do you say to the teachers, parents, staff members who fear catching the coronavirus with students going back into the classroom?
Well, I think they fear more children being stuck at home this fall.
So he says that parents are more worried about their children being stuck at home. That's not what I'm hearing from parents. I'm hearing them worried about everything and being torn about this decision.
You're totally right. Look, my sister is an intensive care pediatrician, and we've had this discussion intensely over the course of the last few weeks because kids have suffered during this period of time. The social isolation is terrible. Plus, schools are where kids grow emotionally. They learn resilience, relationships. We can finish each other's sentences on this, but you need to keep it safe first and foremost. And so that's why unlike all the countries in Europe where they tackle the community spread first and foremost, just like Governor Cuomo has done in New York, and then they make sure that we have the safeguards in schools, and then they reopen schools slowly and thoughtfully. That's what we need to do here. And frankly, what you're saying is that districts are very much alone trying to do this without the resources, without the planning, without the guidance from the federal government. But it is really the level of agita that Trump and DeVos are creating for parents and teachers are terrible. And let me say one more thing, which is that before their antics and their recklessness last week, 76% of my members said that they were comfortable going back into schools if we had the safeguards of cleaning, ventilation, the masks, and the social distancing. Since that time, both they and parents are really frightened. Why would a politician or politicians do that to parents and to teachers and to kids?
And very, very briefly, Randi, what about getting more money? If there were enough money, are some of these buildings too old for money to be the solution in some of these big cities?
Money could be the solution. Look, even in a building that's really old, Andrea, you can open a window and you can have a fan to try to rejigger ventilation. But we need soap and we need PPE and we need cleaning. And so we could do it if we were given the resources, which is why the HEROES Act is so important.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.